Caitlin Clark and the Fever are in Indy for the home opener against New York Liberty. Local 5 Sports Director Reyna Garcia is there, where she got the chance to talk to Clark about Lisa Bluder's retirement.
And drought conditions have improved dramatically. I'll have the latest coming up.
And a new law could mean some big changes to what your kid learns in the classroom. How schools are reacting to impending curriculum changes.
You're watching Local 5 News. We are Iowa.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are set to take the court for their home opener against the New York Liberty tonight. It's an opportunity for the Fever to bounce back after their loss to Connecticut in this season opener. After the team's shoot around this afternoon, Clark said she's watched the film, identified what went well, what didn't, and she's been working those things out in practice. Well, here's a programming note. Due to tonight's Fever game, some of ABC's primetime lineup will be adjusted. Grey's Anatomy will follow the game at 8, followed by Station 19 at 9. 911 fans, set your DVR. It will air later tonight at 1 a.m. Now, the Atlanta Dream tip off against the Fever in a little over a month, and it's making some changes to adapt to the team's growing popularity. The Dream's June 21st and August 26th home games against the Fever will now be at State Farm Arena. It can seat more than 17,000 people. That's compared to 5,000 seats in the Dream's usual home stadium, Gateway Arena. The Dream played at State Farm Arena from its founding in 2008. All the way until 2016. The largest crowd in the Dream's franchise history was more than 11,000 people back in 2008. Well, Iowa head women's basketball coach Lisa Bluder announced her retirement earlier this week. Her longtime associate head coach Jan Jensen is taking over the program. Local 5's Reyna Garcia has more from Indianapolis on what former Hawkeye Caitlin Clark had to say about Bluder's retirement.
Lisa Bluder will be here tonight along with Jan Jensen to support Caitlin Clark as she makes her regular season home debut for the Indiana Fever. Together, Bluder and Clark have helped take the Iowa women's basketball program to new heights, both on and off the court. They reached 2 national championship games together. The Hawkeyes took the basketball world by storm, selling out arenas everywhere they went and shattering viewership records time and time again. Now, Clark and Bluder are starting new chapters in their lives. For Clark, it's the WNBA, and for Bluder, it's retirement.
I'm happy for Coach Bluder that she can kind of do it on her terms and like go out on a high. You know, obviously what we were able to do over the course of the last 4 years, but even before that, when they had Megan and Kathleen and Sam Logic, like it just kept feeling like this thing was continuing to build, and she felt like this was the right time to step away, and I'm glad she was content enough to do that. She'll be here tonight, and same with Coach Jay, and really there was no other option in the world. Like this has been Coach Jay's job. Whenever Coach Bluder decided to hang it up, it was going to be Coach Jay's, and I think that is absolutely the right decision. She's ready for it.
Clark said in addition to Bluder and Jensen being in attendance tonight, she'll have several family members here as well. Clark and the Fever looking to get their first win of the regular season as they take on the New York Liberty. We'll see if they can get it done. Reporting from Indianapolis, Reyna Garcia, Local 5 Sports.
What a beautiful day we have out there. Sun is shining.
The sun is shining, and we were both talking, and we hope Caitlin has a good night.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I hope she does, and watch that on Local 5 tonight. Let's talk about what's going on out there with that drought, because, we've had a lot of rain lately, right? And it surely has made it better. Well, this is what it looked like a month ago, and most of central Iowa was either in a moderate to severe drought, those 2 colors there. The worst of it was extreme drought in northeast Iowa. So when I hit the button, it's going to wipe to what's happening right now. And look at that. There's no drought in northwest Iowa, no drought across southern Iowa, no drought in eastern Iowa. We've got some dry conditions here and maybe a slight drought, moderate drought in some parts of central Iowa. But it's really east of the metro and northeast Iowa that has the driest conditions. So we could still use rainfall in those areas, but we've made a big improvement, no doubt about it. Well, we got rain in the forecast. It's mostly going to be Sunday night into Monday, so slight chances, might be a sprinkle on Saturday with a weak cold front, but it's really going to be Sunday night into Monday. The chances go up, and it's going to be a good chance of rain. So we are going to get rain, and it might actually be in the areas where we need it. The forecast is kind of in this general vicinity, so that would be good if we can get that rainfall. That could be a couple of inches there. Sky Tracker 5 showing some cirrus clouds out there, 78 degrees. The wind is west-northwest. By the way, 78 88 has been our high officially today, so not bad at all. And we will have a good evening. Temperatures will cool down pretty quickly once the sun sets, so get ready for a cooler night. Back to 84 tomorrow after starting in the 50s tomorrow morning, so a 30-degree warm up during the day. And even warmer on Saturday afternoon, about 87. We could see 89 or so out here in Grinnell. There's going to be a cold front working across the state, and it's going to arrive here maybe late in the day, about this time, or maybe a little bit before now on Saturday. So Sunday, we're going to cool down just a few degrees, but still very warm. It's going to feel like summer this weekend. And then we've got a lot of sunshine to boot out there, a few clouds and showers to our east, but things are going to be pretty quiet here. You can see our futurecast showing very little going on until Sunday evening, and that's mostly going to be west of the metro before 8 o'clock, and then after 8 o'clock our chances will go up into early Monday morning. And then we have a redevelopment Monday night into Tuesday morning, and Tuesday looks like maybe the stormiest day. But either way, we're going to see a couple of good chances of rain going into early next week. For tonight, clear and quiet, 55 degrees with a really pleasant evening out there. Get out on the deck or the patio. That's what I'm trying to think of. Sunny and warm, 84 degrees. Perfect Friday for you. Here is your 10-day forecast. Temperatures in the 80s out there right through Sunday, Monday. A little cooler next week, but there's still decent temperatures as we go into next weekend, which is, of course, Memorial Day weekend.
The 15-year-old suspect in an assault that led to an Ellipsis staff member's death is being charged with murder in the second degree. The victim was Kathleen Galloway Menke. According to police, she died Tuesday from injuries related to that assault. Her family is now considering a lawsuit. Local 5's investigative reporter Laura Bowen sat down with the lawyer who is representing Galloway Menke's estate and is working with her family.
We're doing an investigation as you do in any type of case, especially involving a death, to see if there's other avenues or legal actions, causes of action that can be maintained. Don't know the answer to that yet.
It all started with a 15-year-old resident running away from the Ellipsis group home.
It's Kathleen, and there was up to 5 other staff members and another individual in a vehicle that were all following this youth.
Attorney Trevor Hook says the teenage suspect suddenly ran across the street, shoving Galloway Menke.
She went airborne, landed on her head first against the sidewalk, causing brain damage, and ultimately that's what led to her death.
Hook says he believes the suspect had threatened to kill Galloway Menke in the past, including the day of the incident. One of the concerns Hook is looking into is whether or not safety protocols were adequate in this case, especially for female staff.
I mean, she's a very tiny gal, and some of these youth, even though they are youth, are good sized, and they're in there by definition because they have behavioral issues.
When asked about the policy for handling runaways, a media contact for Ellipsis sent us a statement that reads in part, "Our policy is to alert the local law enforcement whether a youth leaves our premises without permission. This is because clients are court-ordered to our facility. We keep the youth in sight as best as we can until local law enforcement arrives so we can keep police informed and to minimize potential harm to the youth or anyone else in the community." Laura Bowen, Local 5 News.
A new law in Iowa will create some new guidelines for social studies teachers to follow. Local 5's Larissa Leone spoke with some groups having mixed feelings about the upcoming changes.
Stephanie, this new law signed by Governor Reynolds splits into 4 different divisions, laying out new requirements for different levels of education. I spoke with some education organizations about how they feel about these changes.
Specific concerns actually have very little to do with the number of items that they want to make sure are covered in our social studies, but rather is the fact that it is not education professionals that are determining what those standards should look like.
Now, this law is set to take place January 1st, 2025. In Des Moines, Larissa Leone, Local 5 News.
The Iowa Board of Ethics is launching an investigation into Melissa Vine's campaign after a complaint was filed alleging the campaign made fraudulent votes and donations towards an endorsement. Our Dana Searles has been following this. Dana, why did they decide to conduct this investigation?
Well, Stephanie, generally the Iowa Ethics Campaign Disclosure Board does not have jurisdiction to investigate candidates running at the federal level. However, in this case, since it was a federal candidate allegedly making donations to an Iowa organization, that gives them jurisdiction to investigate. So here's what we know about this investigation. Those conducting the investigation say they have information showing the Melissa Vine campaign submitted over 100 attempted contributions towards an endorsement with the Iowa Unity Coalition. Over 40 of those officially went through, and each of those contributions had different names, but the same payment information and same addresses.
And so what we do is we follow the money, and that's the reason why we have these laws, to hold politicians accountable, and we're going to do exactly that in this case, as we do with every other one.
So here is what can come out of the investigation. The first thing is an admonishment. Zach Goodrich describes this similar to a slap on the wrist. The next level up is a reprimand or some type of probation. Then finally, the highest consequence that could come out of this is a civil penalty, which would be a fine for breaking the law. The investigation could also have an outcome of total dismissal. Zach Goodrich, who is leading the investigation, says the investigation will be completed before the primary election on June 4th. I reached out to the Vine campaign for comment, but have not heard back yet. Stephanie?
Dana, thank you. Hundreds of employees in Perry who will be laid off by Tyson Foods at the end of June had the chance to explore some new career opportunities today. Local 5's Connor O'Neill is in Perry and shows how the city is helping these people with their next steps.
The National Guard Armory in Perry was the site of a second job fair for employees who are going to be laid off by Tyson Foods at the end of June. And Thursday's job fair was all about keeping people local.
Hopefully as many people as possible can stay here in Perry, thinking not only of their families, but also the effects on our local businesses and what that means for them. The ability to keep these folks at home is essential.
So essential that 65 local and state employers participated in Thursday's job fair. But local employers were prioritized because the Iowa Workforce Development want to keep people close to home, as some workers moved years ago to Perry specifically to work at the pork plant.
We want to make sure that people aren't feeling that they have to move away from their homes. All these individuals that have been working at Perry have been there 20 plus years. You know, you build a community around that. That's not something you want to just up and leave to jump to the next job.
Hundreds of the near 1,300 Tyson Food employees attended the job fair, hoping to find future employment options.
A variety of emotions. There are naturally people that are upset and uncertain about the future. At the same time, though, we've encountered some trying to look at it from an opportunistic angle.
Tyson Foods has been the city's largest employer, meaning the layoffs are a dent to the local workforce. But these employers want to help make the next few weeks' transition as smooth as possible.
We're going to be continuously working with them, continuing to go out there until everybody's got a job, until everybody is feeling comfortable. So,
Connor O'Neill, Local 5 News, Perry.
Today's job fair was the last one specifically for Tyson Foods employees, but the Iowa Workforce Development says it will continue to work with them down the road. Well, as we get closer to the end of the school year, a group of East High School students received special recognition for work they've been doing to improve themselves and to reach their goals. The founder of nonprofit Focus says these teens have each faced their own hardships in life and wants them to help build each other up. Local 5's Chen Yu-her has the story.
The future belongs to us.
With eager and excited eyes, these East High School students waited for their names to be called Wednesday and walk across the stage.
Okay, good luck. Now is your turn. Come on up.
In front of his family and classmates, junior Deluk Irakoze received a certificate from nonprofit Focus and a gift to recognize the work he's put in to be here.
Being successful on our own terms is how I want to live and how I want to bless my family with as well.
Focus took the time to recognize Deluk and a handful of his peers for the work they've done through the last several months. It's work to help themselves succeed in school and outside of the classroom.
We're in a situation where we see an increase of whether it's violence, whether it's food insecurity, so we're trying to do our part and help the kids build confidence, build leadership skills more than anything, so they can make those important decisions and not get caught up in the wrong thing. job readiness programs.
That's Kaeja Portwood. At times shy, but always sharp, ambitious, and a natural-born leader.
Life can be full of challenges. Some are larger than others, but everyone has an opportunity to chart their path. All the best, Connie Boson.
She read Mayor Connie Bozen's letter to the group, encouraging them to continue succeeding. Kaeja understood the assignment.
It's helping me talk to people in the field that I'm looking for, so it's like giving me an understanding of what I'm walking into and what I'm gonna have to do to get there. So I think that's helping with me prepare for what I have to do.
Preparation, striving, and believing in themselves is perhaps the most important lesson of all.
This started to really open my eyes on what could happen in the future if I don't stay focused.
In Des Moines, Shnu Herb, Local 5 News.
While the students are now working on finding summer jobs and internships, Focus already has new students joining the program for next school year. Well, looking ahead to tomorrow, the Greenbelt Music Festival kicks off in Clive. It's an indoor music festival off the Greenbelt Trail, just west of the Horizon Event Center. Friday's headliner is Railroad Venue with Lindsay Lou and Yonder Mountain String Band. The festival's operations manager says this year their focus is on family.
And we just noticed that kids kind of took over the festival. It was a great festival for adults. We got bars and food everywhere, but kids have their kids zone, parents can hang out. So it became quite the family-friendly event, and it's all to revitalize the Greenbelt Trail here.
The festival runs from 2 to 11 p.m. tomorrow and 1 to 11 on Saturday. Kids ages 12 or younger get in free. Other tickets range from $64 to $185. $5 from every ticket goes toward revitalizing the Clive Greenbelt Trail. We're in that outdoor festival season. I, for one, am thrilled.
Awesome.
It's so exciting. Yes.
And the weather could not be better for that event. Friday and Saturday, no problems whatsoever.
Loving to hear all of this.
Yeah, temperatures will be in the 80s, so
Nice.
dress maybe in shorts.
Oh my goodness. All right, Brad, thanks. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on 10.